Don't let yourself be too stressed, right?
Yes, God. Yes, God. From the bottom of my heart to the depths of my soul. Yes, God. Completely yes. My soul says yes. Let's sing it together. Stand as you are able. Yes, God. Yes, God. Yes, God. From the bottom of my heart to the depths of my soul. Yes, God. Completely yes. My soul says yes. I'm going to sing a verse. You just step touch. Not my will, God, but thy will be done. No more I, now it's Christ who lives in me. God, I give my everything to you. I am surrendered completely through and through. Yeah, yes, God. Yes, God. From the bottom of my heart to the depths of my soul. Yes, God. Completely yes. My soul says yes. Let us pray.
And so we turn our attention within as we know the truth of our opening statement. So let us affirm it together. There is but one presence and one power in my life and in the universe, God the good omnipotence.
Let's sing it again once quietly, and then we'll sing it big and loud again. And when we're doing something quietly, that's your opportunity to take it internally and figure out what it is you want to say yes, God, to. It could be aspirational. It could be something about which you are all the way on no God. But yes, God is the aspiration. Or it can be a prayer meant for someone who's not in the room or maybe not even on the planet. Let's do this together quietly. Ready? 3, 4. Yes, God. Yes, God. From the bottom of my heart to the depths of my soul. Yes, God. Completely yes. My soul says yes, yes, yes. Sing it out, yes, God. Yes, God. From the bottom of my heart to the depths of my soul. Yes, God. Completely yes. My soul says yes. Beautiful. Please be seated.
Good morning, and welcome to Seattle Unity, both in-house and at home. So let's turn to our vision statement together. We are an accessible and inclusive spiritual sanctuary for all ages and stages of life. We offer spiritual practices and a community that honors diversity and encourages self-empowerment. We co-create a world that works for all. May I have an amen? All right. So welcome, both in-house and at home. If you're watching from home, please type in not only where you're watching from, but your name as well. And also for home online people, you don't get a chance to do the reading, so if you would like to do the reading some Sunday, we invite you to record yourself on your phone and then send it to Aaron, and then we can put it on the screen for the reading. So if that's something for those of you who are at home would like to do, please email me, and I'll send you a reading, and we'll get that process in order. All right, a couple of announcements. We have Heart of Community conversation with Reverend Diane Robertson following the service upstairs at 11:30, so we invite you all to stay for that. And on September 8th, I'm going to be leading, or September 7th, Saturday, I'm going to be leading another Astrodrama workshop. You must pre-register. And people go, what is that? Well, we embody the archetypes of the zodiac and the planets. So we have costumes, and we have props, and we really get into it. So again, if you have any questions, you can ask me about that, but you need to register for that. So that said, let's go to our chat prompt, and that's for the online people at home, and or we can use it here as well. Do you know anyone you could believe might be a saint or an angel? You know anybody? Let's all stand and greet one another.
Stay standing as you are able, please. We're going to do another one that moves. Hi, Robin. Welcome home. Thank you. Please be seated. There are some fabulous people in this room today. I'm so thrilled. That whole section of the service is about waking up and saying hello and getting the breath and the blood moving to prepare us for the more contemplative part of our service that happens starting now. The center of it will be a silent meditation. We will share about 3 or 4 minutes of silence together, so I encourage you to get comfortable in your chair so that that's an easy thing for you to do when we get there. Before we get in, we'll have a chant, but the very first step into this more contemplative space comes via Mary Kemp today with our reading.
Good morning. From the Daily Word for August 21st, 2024. Kindness. Divine love flows through me as acts of kindness. Looking back over the years, I remember kindnesses I received, some from friends and family members, others from acquaintances, or even some from strangers. These gifts of others' time and attention blessed me and helped me feel valued. That is the true gift of kindness. Specific acts of service or generosity may fade from memory, but the impulse to love and care and the feeling it generates has its roots in kindness. I keep this in mind when I extend kindness to others. I give, share, and love generously without thought of getting anything in return. The love of God flows through me, touching others as acts of kindness. Through me, I pray they will know their worth and value as divine beings. From Zechariah chapter 7, verse 9, thus says the Lord of hosts, render true judgments, show kindness and mercy to one another.
Today we'll use a chant from Hindu tradition that probably you don't know, but it's very, very simple. It's Jai Hanuman. Hanuman, you may know, is one of the deities. It's a monkey god, which is a fabulous heroic figure within Hinduism. Lots of stories associated with Hanuman as associated with selfless service. So if you can think of the aspect of yourself that is noble, heroic, extremely creative and innovative, dedicated, devoted, and willing to be helpful. There'll be 2 parts to the chant. You can stay with the very first easy part or move on to the second part, whichever appeals to you. Jai Hanuman, 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 Jai Hanuman. Let's do this a few more times. Jai Hanuman, 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 Jai Now just a
While it seems so clear to you and me that what we need is unity, there's so much fighting in the streets. It's been going on for years, not weeks. How warm it could be and so serene if we could finally find some peace and bring all of our hearts together. Well, just because you're wrong doesn't mean I'm right. If we don't agree, we don't need to fight. You can like Dire Straits and Rapper's Delight. It's not enough just to be polite. In the darkness, shine a light. There's a throne on top of a billion's plight. What we need is to bring our hearts together. Come on, Darius. Jesus tried, he was slain to reach our hearts, not just our brains. But did you miss the point? 'Cause now you say we should kill and divide, all in his name. Preaching and doing are not the same. It's no way to live with regret and shame. What we need is to bring our hearts together. It's a noble concept, to be sure. You're only as rich as the poorest poor. How much suffering can you endure? Will you spread the cancer while you hide the cure? Nostalgia is a tested lure. So for this, our next reunion tour, we're gonna bring all of our hearts together. And sing it loud. Build something of which you are proud. There's no better time to start than now, before all that's left is a funeral shroud. The power of many has been avowed. The road once snowed in just got plowed. Now let's bring all of our hearts together and sing it again. Why can't we bring all of our hearts together? Why can't we bring all of our hearts together? Thank you.
R.L. Hare.
You know, I love coming every week and discovering what we're going to get in this creative brilliance. So thank you. Thank you. Well, hello. Hi. So I am so excited and grateful to be here this morning or afternoon, wherever you're watching from, to enter into this next kind of step in Seattle Unity's story, getting to now serve as co-minister with Reverend Karen. It is an honor and a privilege. So my intention in the next little bit of time together is to share what I bring to co-ministry. I know many of you know me. I've been part of this community for a while. And also a little bit about my vision for our future together. And I say a little bit because, we only have so much time together here, but hopefully you'll join me later upstairs. But before I do that, I want to share a little bit of my story with Seattle Unity. And again, I know many of you know different pieces and parts of it, not everybody. So I have been part of this spiritual community since 1997, when I moved to Seattle to go to grad school at the UW for civil and environmental engineering. And growing up in Unity, I immediately looked for the closest Unity church, and it happened to be this one. Different building, but Seattle Unity, and I've been so grateful ever since. Because Seattle Unity has been part of my spiritual journey. It's been my foundation. It's been integral to my spiritual evolution. It has been a place of connection and joy and laughter and dance. And yes, joy, because in Unity, we always know that joy is cool. And it's also been this sacred container to see me through multiple career changes, multiple different educational programs, many different losses. And I felt held by this community as much as being able to serve this community. And so before I joined the staff, which was over 10 years ago now, oh my gosh, I served in a variety of different roles here. And so I served as a WOW Youth sponsor, as the Youth of Unity sponsor, on the prayer team as a prayer chaplain, and the finance team, the facility team as a board member. I led classes in small groups, and a few other things here and there. And through it all, I've felt this constant place of home. And for me, spiritual community is a place of extended family. And I am grateful for this community that has also supported me and supported me through my ministerial education and becoming an ordained Unity minister. Yes, thank you. Thank you. And so this week is a special week because we're coming up on our 2-year anniversary of being in this new building. It was the end of August 2022 when we moved into this building. There was a flurry of activity. Thank you to all those amazing volunteers that helped make it happen. It didn't look like we were going to be able to have a first service, but somehow, with divine grace, it happened. And we had our soft opening leading up to our grand opening September 11th. And so I was looking back over a lot of the community meeting notes from kind of this process that really started in 2012 and 2014. Some of you were around to be part of that process. And I found community notes from one community meeting in 2015. And this is where there was such incredible wisdom with Reverend Karen and our board at the time and the change team and the SUV. Because the focus of this meeting in 2015, as we were first stepping into our building process, was about the community. Because they know and we know that the heart of Seattle Unity is really about the people, the community. All of us that gather together in person, all of us that join together online. And so there were 3 questions that were asked, and I want to share a little bit of this. And so even if you weren't part of that meeting, I want you to listen and hear if there isn't something that speaks to you and speaks to your heart. So the first question that was asked was, bring to mind the first time you came to Seattle Unity and what you remember about that time and what brings you back. It was actually 2 questions embedded in one. And so this is what the community shared, just a little bit, not all of it, just a little bit. It feels like home with a sense of safety. Gives me inspiration. I love the sense of community and family. I am spiritually fed, honoring of diversity, authentic inclusivity, non-traditional spirituality, a children's program, led by Spirit, healing, community, and connection. Has anyone else experienced that coming into this community? The second question that was asked, which also was brilliant. I didn't write them, by the way. I'm giving credit to others here. What are you creating for yourself by coming to Seattle Unity? So again, what are you creating for yourself by coming to Seattle Unity? And this is just a little bit of the wisdom shared. Spiritual development, awareness and presence, friendship, living divinely from my heart, opportunity to serve and give back, peace, remembrance of who I am, acceptance of myself and others, love, fun, divine community, opportunities for leadership, higher consciousness, Christ consciousness, spiritual connection, centering and grounding, a space to grow, inspiration for myself, or being an inspiration for others. And so again, does any of that speak to your heart? It speaks to mine. And the reason I wanted to share this is because I see several things within it. Beyond our beautiful physical space that we get to gather in or connect to online, the heart of spiritual community, again, is our people. It's all of us that gather together. And the essence of who we are at Seattle Unity are all of these things that I just shared. It's timeless wisdom that came forward out of this community and carries forward. And it's interesting that right now we're in this annual theme of generations. And so we're looking at what is the wisdom from past generations that we can pull forward into now, and also lessons learned that we don't want to repeat. And here in this community, in Seattle Unity, we stand upon so many generations of communities that have built it and brought us to this point. And all of us together are planting the seeds that will carry forward and bless future generations as well. And so a couple months ago, the Board of Trustees invited me to submit a letter of interest in my resume for the senior minister position when Reverend Karen retires at the end of 2025. So that is 16 more months, folks. So remember that. So I was honored to do so, and within that letter, I shared just a little bit. And one portion was how ministry is in my DNA for several reasons. One, my earliest memories and thoughts were kind of spiritual questions. It was kind of questioning, what is the nature of God? What is this like human and divine nature that we all carry? What does it mean to be spiritual and in this human existence with an ego? And how do we balance and reconcile all of those crazy parts of us? And it's also my DNA because my father's father and my mother's mother were both ministers and spiritual leaders from vastly different traditions. So my grandfather, my father's father, was a Baptist minister, and my mother's mother, my grandmother, Fran, she was a spiritual leader and teacher in Eckankar. How many people have even heard of Eckankar? Okay. There's a few, and the other going, what? So you can come find me later, and I can share a little bit more. And the other reason that it's in my DNA ministry is because my family, we grew up in San Leandro Unity in California, and my parents were part of the 20%. And for those that don't know what that means, many in church and spiritual communities know that there's usually a core of people, about 20%, that seem to show up repeatedly on every single team and service team and activity. They're the ones we rely on. They're the ones we call up. They're the ones we pull over when we need something done really fast. And so they were the ones that were ushers and greeters and served on the board, and our family decorated for the holidays. I went with my dad to get the Christmas tree for the church, and I went with my mom to get the lilies and the flowers for the Easter service. And so that was our family that we grew up in. And at San Leandro Unity, it was our extended family, that spiritual community. And so I've always had that. That's always been a part of me and my way of seeing and walking through the world and entering into spiritual community with others. And by the way, I think Seattle Unity is flipping that model on its head, and I'm going to touch on that more later. I don't think it's just 20%. I think it's much more than that. And so we're changing that dynamic. So the title of my talk today is The Heart of Spiritual Community. And so I've been sitting with a question, because you know I love questions, and that is, how and in what ways is spiritual community different from other communities? Because we all are part of a variety of different communities, right? And usually communities gather together because there's shared values or shared purpose. There's something that we come together for in this collective energy. Yet, how is spiritual community different from other communities? And so I want to just take a couple minutes and allow you to share with your neighbor what you think the difference is. How is spiritual community different from other communities? And if you're online, I invite you to type into the chat, how is spiritual community, how do you see it as different from other communities? So go ahead and just share. Partner up. All right, take about another 30 seconds. All right, so apparently people have ideas about it, so I can't wait to hear what people are sharing later on. So for me, there's a few different things, and I think there's much more than a few, that makes a difference of what is a spiritual community. And I did look through, and I found a couple of different Bible verses that speak to this. And these are actual letters to communities, so it is speaking to community. In 1 Thessalonians 5:11, it says, "Therefore encourage one another and build each other up, just as in fact you are doing." So how are we building each other up? And in Philippians 2:4, it says, "Let each of you look not only to one's own interests, but also to the interests of others." So in what ways are we lifting each other up? In which ways are we being present to one another? So we're not in a traditional community like a monastery or a sangha where we work and eat and do everything together. Yet, in the moments that we get to come together in spiritual community, those are precious moments. And so it's easy to kind of just walk through experiences and not really take in the gift that it offers in those moments. So I think one of the other differences in spiritual community is we get to walk through some of life's biggest moments and milestones. Our sorrows and our challenges, if we're willing to be vulnerable and share when those are present for us, as well as our celebrations. And it's been an honor for me to get to be a celebrant at dozens of weddings and memorials and life celebrations, and to be witness to those amazing moments in our life that we live and all experience. Another big difference I see in spiritual community, and another incredible gift, is we get to come together with like-minded people, but we also have such an incredible diversity that we get to come together with people that think differently from us, that have different beliefs, and have vastly different lived experiences. And I think it's something very unique, and I think that's why we always have this opportunity to build upon that and take it out into the world. Because I think certainly the world needs more of that. Our ability to come together, even when we think differently, believe differently, still with respect for one another, but to carry that out into the world from this place. So every third Sunday, we affirm our mission statement together. Today it was the vision, and then we have a prayer for the future, and then we also share our mission statement. And the beginning of that is, we are a welcoming spiritual community. And when I was sharing before, that's often many people's first experience, and I just want to give a call out to our community guides that truly embody that. They're often the first people that people experience when they are coming in the doors. And online, our prayer chaplains and Karen R. and everyone else that's been online for a while, reaching out to those that are joining in for the first time. And so there's something important about knowing one another's names, but again, there's something even more powerful about getting to know one another's stories. And that's where entering into some of our small groups, like our men's group and women's group, our classes and our service teams, those are usually the places where we get to really know one another more and to deepen those connections. And so I'm excited about putting more energy into classes and programming, supporting our sacred service teams, supporting our small groups in ways of connecting and deepening those connections and sharing our stories. So I want to come back to this, what I referenced at the beginning, which is this idea of the 20% in a church, where often many churches experience about 20% of the people kind of doing a majority of the heavy lifting, so meaning that they're serving on multiple teams. And we have several people doing that. Carolyn Burton, for example, she serves on the worship arts team. She's a community guide. She helps with the hospitality team, and she's a board member. Paul Gammon is another one. Dirk, Mary serves on multiple teams. Many of you do. But I also see that it's much more than 20%. There's so many people that are starting to step forward and say, I want to be part of this. I want to serve on the prayer team. I want to be a prayer chaplain. I want to see this community thrive and grow. And we know that the way that that's going to happen is with each of us taking a part in it and taking ownership in this community, which is all of our community. I want to give a call out to the engagement team as well. There were several of us that were at an engagement workshop a little over a week ago. And Grace and Denise and Cindy put a lot of work into that. There's others on the engagement team too, Mary and Mitch. And there was so much energy and creativity in that room. It was like it was bouncing off of the walls. I know I wasn't the only one, because others that were there experienced that as well. These ideas of events we can create and classes and experiences that can be entry events for people that haven't yet found us and connected with us. And each person bringing their gifts and what they have to share and contribute to this community. And that's so powerful. And so if you have some place where you've been feeling a call, or you've been looking for somewhere that you want to step in and contribute, please come talk to me. Because there is a place and a role for everyone here, and that's how we are going to continue to be a thriving ministry down in South Lake Union and beyond, because we know with our online community, we're able to connect with people and community members that don't even live in this state, and sometimes not even in this country. Hello, Julia. So another passion for me that I bring into ministry, in addition to service and the ways of supporting one another, is for me, having grown up in Unity, I've always taken to heart this idea that it is about living it in every area of our life. This idea of practical spirituality, that it's only good if you live it fully. It's nice to talk about it, but it's sort of where the rubber meets the road is like, okay, but how you live in it. And so I wanted to share a couple little stories, and I'll get to the reason at the end. So it seems like a diversion, but it's not. So we are in the middle of the Jones generation, and most people didn't know the Jones generation. If you weren't here last Sunday or weren't able to join online, you can go back and hear Reverend Karen's talk on our website, Facebook, or YouTube. We have options. And it talks about the introduction of the Jones generation, which we're honoring and looking at right now. And Unity has a rich history in the midst of all these various generations. And I just wanted to call out one way, particularly during this time. And we're talking about around the 1960s. And so James Dillett Freeman is a Unity minister and author and poet. And he wrote the prayer for protection that we affirm at the end of every Seattle Unity service, but it's actually affirmed and shared at the end of a lot of Unity Church's services. And in 1969, astronaut Edwin Buzz Aldrin carried a copy of it on Apollo 11 to the moon and the first manned moon mission. And so that Unity prayer went with that first manned moon mission. And then in 1971, Apollo 15 astronaut James B. Irwin carried another of Freeman's poem called I Am There. And it's a beautiful poem, and perhaps at some point we'll get to share that here. And it was left on the moon as a microfilm copy. So a copy of a Unity poem and prayer is sitting on the moon right now. So when you look up at the moon, I want you to just remember that. And so I'm curious how many people knew that. Yeah, not a few, but not too many. So even folks that have been part of Unity for a long time. And so Unity has this incredibly rich history. And Seattle Unity, as a spiritual community within this larger organization, has such a rich history and so much to offer. And we don't tend to evangelize. And I want to give a call out to Jackie Roberts. There's several reasons why. I know, she just rolled her eyes. But so first, because she had energy around the Friends and Family Sunday that happened during the picnic earlier in July. And that was so powerful and so energetic. It seems like a simple thing, but just inviting your friends and family and to be able to share community together. And then the second thing is on our website, there's several community member story videos. And I don't know if everyone's seen those. We try to share them every once in a while, and several of you have recorded those. And the title of Jackie Roberts that was put there is Finding Home and Community. And at the end of it, she actually shares about how in Unity, in Seattle Unity, we don't tend to evangelize. And why not? So why not share it? So if you're touched by the message and the music in a class and something sparks in you, or you're challenged by something, if you make a connection, please share it with a friend on social, right? Because that's worth sharing, and that's how we continue to grow and reach more people and continue to be a thriving ministry down in South Lake Union and Seattle and way beyond that. So I look forward to continuing this conversation about how we serve as co-ministers, what the future looks like for Seattle Unity, what we're all creating together. If you're here in the room and able to make it upstairs, that would be wonderful. I am going to also host an online session for our folks that are online this upcoming Wednesday, and there'll be a link on our website. So if for some reason someone's not able to stay, or if you are part of our online community, I look forward to connecting with you Wednesday evening at 7 p.m. And so from my heart, truly, 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 thank you all for being a vital part of this spiritual community. Thank you. So as our community guys are coming forward, come now to that time to share of our gifts, our loves, and our tithes. And so if you give electronically, there are cards in the back of the chairs that you can hold. It also has a QR code. If you want to text to give, the number is also 206-350-8448. And of course, we accept checks for those in the room. And there is a link on the website. And so let us affirm our blessing of the offering together. I give willingly, joyfully, and lovingly, knowing that God is the constant source of my supply. I give with graciousness and receive with gratitude.
When I was young, I saw the sun. I had to feel the heat. Sunburnt with blistering shoulders, I felt no shame in my retreat. A wiser man did extend his hand, said, I can help you see. It doesn't take all this running and sunburns just to feel free. Slow your roll, allow to grow all the abundant trees. Put your nose to the grindstone and from your elbow obtain the grease. It's not a race, just keep your pace. You've got to keep your head. 'Cause if you run like a river, you're face down in a riverbed. Run like a river, before you know you're face down in a riverbed. Run like a river, before you know you're face down in a riverbed. Hey, Darius. Slow your roll, allow to grow all these abundant trees. Keep your nose to the grindstone and from your elbow obtain the grease. It's not a race, just keep your pace. You've got to keep your head. 'Cause if you run like a river, you're face down in a riverbed. Run like a river, before you know you're face down. down in a riverbed. Run like a river before you know you're face down in a riverbed. Hey! Run like a river before you know you're face down in a riverbed. Hit the brakes! Run like a river before you know you're face down in a riverbed. Riverbed. Riverbed.
Nice. R.L. Hire. Thank you.
Thank you. So will our chaplains who are on duty come stand up here with me and hold sacred space? We want to first say hello to MJ in Greenwood, Margaret in Corvallis, Jen in Bremerton, Louise in West Lynn, Marianne in Cleveland, Susan in North Seattle, Diane in Tacoma, Terry and Johnny are in Everett, Gary and Lynn are in Shelton, Femi Nem is in Mount Shasta, and Julia is in Galway, Ireland, watching. So that's pretty cool. So I just want to just check on the chat that we asked, which was, do you know someone around you who could be an angel or a saint? Margaret said, I do find angels around me, and one in particular is my daughter. She's kind and generous with an uncanny timing. And Jen Bowles, our board member, said, an angel in my life was certainly my grandmother. I know she was for countless others as well. Diane Tilstra, hi Diane, said, I'm grateful for all the saints and angels that surround me daily. They are numerous. Some teach me patience and compassion. And Johnny Wood said, I have long said my chaplain and friend Diane Brennan should be nominated for sainthood. And I agree. And Feminam said me, so hey, I'll take it. All right, so let's just take a moment as we become still, and we begin by blessing our offering and the generosity of each giver. So we hold our gift in our hearts, even though we've given it already, and recognizing then we dedicate and consecrate these gifts to the will, the work, and the way of the living Spirit of truth, knowing that it returns to each giver 1,000-fold. And so we turn to our prayers. I invite you to take a deep breath, and we send light and love to Georgia, to Gary, to Valerie and Bob, to Pat, to Jim, to Jen, to Gary and Don, to Kayung, to Georgina. We take a breath. We send light of guidance to Elise, to Scott, and we hold in prayer Matthew, Mike, Jim, Bill, Dick, and Jim. We send healing, energy, and prayers to Todd and Marcia, to Teresa, to Carl, to Amy, to Christine. And we hold this family in our prayers, Chris and Chip, Taj, Brian, Kenneth, June Ann, Jason, Dawn and Melissa, and anyone else whose name you would like to bless, any person you would like to send light to, speak that name now. As we affirm together our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. I am light. The love of God enfolds us. I am love. The power of God protects us. I am power. The presence of God watches over us. I am presence. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
Yes, it is. let's sing one more closing song together. Stand as you are able. Hold hands if you wanna, but it's okay to not hold hands. It's okay to say no and diverge from the norms. Next week after the service, I'll be leading a worship arts exploration session. This time, worship arts is anything. It's not just music. It's like dance and visuals. And next week, we're going to explore smells, sacred smells. It could get weird. I don't know. We'll find out wherever I am.